Tada drishtuh swarupeavasthanam. You see, Indriya is made from the word Indra, means king. The king of all of them is our mind, Chitta. So, you can say Chitta also Indriya, but to understand the difference between these two, they have made two words, outer Indriya and antar Indriya. So, antahkaran is inner sense and bahyakaran is outer sense. You can say like this also. Tada means then, drishtuh means observer, or seer. Swarupe avasthanam, swarup avasthanam means swarup means form, avasthanam means established. He says that when yogas chitta vritti nirodha means when your all the thoughts fluctuations stop, then that is a state of yoga. And when your all these stops, he defines it that this is yoga. But when it stops, then what happens to you? Here he is saying when your all the thoughts fluctuations are stopped, then the seer get established in its own form. Own form, swarup. Roop means form, or swa I forgot it, own. Then you get established in own form, in your own self. Now we will discuss about all the elements of the yoga, because without describing that we cannot understand it. This our yoga philosophy is the practical part of Sankhya, and Sankhya is the theoretical part of yoga. The theory has been taken completely from Sankhya. So, what the Sankhya says about these elements? Sankhya says that there are 25 elements and we have to know about those 25, then we can understand the whole theory of yoga. So, what are those 25? The first one is Purush, the second one is Prakriti, and Prakriti is divided into 24. Even Prakriti is there, so you can say it 23. So, Purush is one. What is Purush? Purush does not here means male or female. We just try to understand it, Purush means male, but here Purush does not mean it. What Purush mean? Purush, the word is taken from Veda, Rig Veda. I don't remember the exact stanza of the Veda, but Purush has been taken there from there. And what does the mean by Purush? It is made of two words, Pur, Ush. Pur means front and Ush means light. When the person who has light in front, that is called Purush. Here light means does not mean this sunlight or moonlight. Here light means knowledge. So, the person who has knowledge in the front means in the brain. So, that one is called Purush. Okay? And the next meaning is there also, Purushete Purushaha. Pur means गांव, कहते हैं ना कि ये पुर वो पुर लगा देते हैं तो उसमें उसको गांव का नाम संबोधन होता है. यहाँ पर पुर का मीन बॉडी, पुर, दिस इज कॉल्ड पुर. सेते पुरुषः, the thing which is lying in this pur is called purush, means the element which is lying inside this, that is called purush. So, purush means knowledge in fact, or soul, you can say. Conscience also you can say, but in somewhere Chitta is also being termed as conscience, so I do not use that words here. So, soul you can say, soul, Atma, and you can say also Paramatma also here. Anything you can say which is linked with your Chetana, that is called soul. So, you see Patanjali and this Sankhya philosophy says everyone who has Purush, who has this knowledge, they are called Purush, and he says that there are millions of Purush, not one Purush. That's just as Advaita Vedanta says, Advaita philosophy says that there is one Brahma alone and we are just part of it. Here he says that everyone has different Purush. Even a small insect has different Purush, but the same Purush which that insect, the same Purush in me also. So, this is what they accept Sankhya and Yoga. And Prakriti, now we come to the Prakriti. Prakriti, the finest, smallest particle, the last unit which you call atom, that is called Prakriti. And Vaiseshik philosophy says it Parmanu. And you see, and Jaina philosophy says it Pudgal. So, what here he means, the last unit, that is called Prakriti. And from this last unit, now he says that when Purush and Prakriti gets mixed, when they interlinked, then first Buddhi gets born. Then from Buddhi he says ego, Ahankar, and from this ego Panch Tanmatra. These are the object of your knowledge senses: sight, sound, taste, smell and touch. These five are born from here, okay, from ego. And then from these five, 11 objects, elements are born. What are those 11? 5 action senses, 5 knowledge senses and 1 mind. So, they are 11, and from these 5 Panchabhut means 5 gross elements. 5 gross elements, what are those 5 gross elements? Mitti, Pani, Agni, Vayu or Akash. Earth, water, fire, air and ether. So, now you count it: Prakriti 1, Buddhi 1, ego 1, 1, 2, 3, then 5 this, 8, then 11 this, 19 and 5 this, 24. So, total of them is 24, this including this 24 and plus this 1, so 25 elements. So, this is what Sankhya philosophy says, and when we go through the Sankhya Karika, then we will tell it there, and they have different words for these things, but the meaning of them are the same. So, 25 the elements. But you say, since these all have got birth from Prakriti and they all are Prakriti, so we just only say that Purush and Prakriti. Okay? So, just to understand that now we will discuss Purush and Prakriti, there are 2 elements. Purush and Prakriti get linked, both are both got linked through Chitta. The link between them is Chitta. So here he is telling, in this sutra he wants to tell, when your all the fluctuations of the mind stops, in the second sutra he says, when your all the fluctuations of mind stops, that is the state of yoga. Then what happens? Means when your chitta becomes sunya, empty, because you were linked with the Prakriti, with the Chitta, now your Chitta is stopped, then what remains? Now you are not linked with the Prakriti, then what remains? Only you remains. Tada, drishtuh, swarupeavasthanam means now you are established in your own self. Before you were established here, this is mine, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is that, you were established there. You are saying that this is my wife, this is my son, this is my property, this is this, this is this. And now when your Chitta is stilled, just as in the deep sleep, you forget everything, no mind thine, because all the thoughts are stopped. In the deep sleep, I am not saying about the dream. When Patanjali describes about the nidra, nidra means always he says deep sleep. In the deep sleep you forget everything because your mind is stopped, but in that time your mind is unconsciously stopped. When you do meditation or samadhi, and when in that state you still your chitta, then you forget, you are dealing with the Prakriti, then you come in yourself. This is what he means here in the third sutra.